Have we connected?
Yes, hello?
Oh my God, hello. You have no idea.
Hello. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Pretty good.
Oh, can you give my chat?
Well, I'm sitting in bar smoking a bowl and I was listening to music.
Oh, nice. Sorry.
Because I knew I had to get on, but... No, I knew I had to get on, but I was trying to get into the mode.
Smoking a bowl is getting into the mode. Hey, can you give everyone your pronouns?
That's me. Oh, what?
Can you give everyone your pronouns?
What are pronouns?
You go by he,
I don't know
him?
what those are. I go by Sterling.
You go by Sterling. Okay. Well,
Like,
I guess
my
my
name's
chat's going to
Sterling,
have to
like-
not ever refer to you by a pronoun.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. I don't know. I'm a boy. I'm a man, or I'm a grown adult. Like, I don't know.
We'll go with
I've
he,
never
him.
really heard of the whole pronoun thing, so I don't know what you mean.
Okay. Well, that's...
I've not met anybody that's made me call them by a pronoun, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
What pronouns are. Anyway, listen, before we get to this debate, to anyone watching,
Oh, no.
if you would like to debate me, you are free to DM me at Keegan Tatum, KeeganTatum, on both Twitter and Instagram, and you can also email me at alienperspectivepolitics@gmail.com. And like and subscribe, because I don't know what you're doing. If you're watching this stream and you're not liking and subscribing, I don't even know what you're doing. Sterling, what are these people doing if they're not liking the stream right now?
I don't know, dude. Politics is important in the world nowadays, and you got to at least know where you stand.
That's right. All right.
I'll say that.
So, in our DMs, you wanted me to socialism pill you, and then...
All right, yeah, let's do it.
And then I was very curious because you said you're liberal on some issues and conservative on others, and that can mean one of a few things.
Liberal, but I'm a yeah, all right. Did I say liberal?
I did not mean liberal. I don't think I'm a liberal, but
Okay, hey, we'll test it out, man.
Well, no, we'll figure it out. I'm still getting into the whole new of where I am in the political state because I don't really know, to be honest. Like I know where my views and where my values lie, and that's how I'll put it. I believe I live in a household of conservatives and of Democrats. My mom is an old school Democrat, and so like.
Are we talking New Deal kind of Democrat, or are we talking Civil Rights Democrat? What are we talking about?
Clinton. My mom voted for Clinton.
Oh, okay.
So that's what my mom doesn't talk politics, and getting it out of her is like trying to pull teeth. But
Isn't that
my mom
weird?
did say
Some people in the older generations, man, they don't like talking about politics.
yeah, they don't like my Aunt Faye. Like my Aunt Faye voted. Oh, dude, who did she vote for? She voted against Eisenhower. She's
my God.
great aunt.
I don't even know who that would be. Is that Thomas Dewey? Do we have any history people in the
yeah, please tell me. I wish my grandpa was here. He was supposed to pick me up, but he had to go to work. My grandpa's in 86, but he's still working.
He was born in 86? My God, what a quick turnaround in the generations in your family.
Old. He's 86 years old, but he's still working 60-hour week because he needs to help putting food on the table like the rest of us, and it's killing. I think if he retires, it will kill him. Like he's been working since he was 10 years old, basically. Like
well, that's some late stage capitalism for you right there. All right, let me socialism pill you.
Oh yeah, I'll take it. Let's see.
So you were curious as to why I'm a socialist, and we can get into the political psychology, which, trust me, I'm into. But ultimately what it comes down to is that socialism is when workers democratically own and operate the means of production. In other words, every worker has some sort of ownership in the company. And that's what I'm all about. I'm not about like that Soviet Union crap.
Okay, that's when I hear socialism, that's what I project. Or I'll say a socialism form of like Venezuela, and I'm like, I can't get behind it. But if it's socialism like European socialism, I can get behind it because they're capitalist by nature. Socialism in wealth distribution.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, listen,
so I can get behind that.
Can I
some of it.
Let me be really autistic here. Are you ready? So I get really grumpy.
Yeah, I work with autistic kids, so let's go.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, you're working with one now. So I can get really grumpy and be like, no, socialism is only the academic definition, which is when the workers own the means of production. And
Yeah.
hold on, we gotta not interrupt as much as possible. Let's try on that, okay? But I understand that language changes, and so you have to accept there are kind of three kinds of things that people are referring to when they talk about socialism. There's the kind that I talk about, worker cooperatives being the main one. And that's like your left-wing, anti-authoritarian, hyper-democracy socialism. You've got your welfare state, kind of progressive New Deal socialism. And then you've got your right-wing authoritarian. We're using socialism and communism as propaganda terms because, you know, I don't know about you, but I don't really trust Lenin or Stalin to tell the truth. I think we could agree on that one.
I will agree, but I'm gonna shoot you one there. I think they had an idea of how it could work, but they don't count for human greed.
What do you mean by that? I'm very curious.
What do you mean by human greed?
I mean, what do you think that they tried to set up a system and then failed? Because I don't. I think they tried to basically resurrect the czarist autocracy and just update it to the 20th century.
Yeah, I'm not good with names, but the man that took over before Stalin.
Lenin.
He had a right-hand man. Yeah, Lenin.
Oh, Trotsky.
I think
You're talking about Trotsky?
Trotsky, yes. I think Trotsky had a real idea of what he wanted to do because he wanted socialism, but he wanted the market to make money. And that's kind of what he was doing. Like, that was his idea, was to make money. Because he wasn't the war-hungry power. And when he died, when their leader basically died.
Died is a very nice way of putting what happened to Trotsky.
Correct. He
shot in the back of the head is how I'd put it.
Yeah. No, I don't remember. I just knew he was killed. That's all I do remember. I believe he wanted the person, his successor, to be Trotsky, because Trotsky wasn't war hungry. He wasn't. Does that make sense?
Oh, he wasn't a crazy, paranoid, delusional maniac like Stalin.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I appreciate your optimism. Hold on. I appreciate your optimism, but yeah, I think that they use socialism as a propaganda term because it was very popular amongst the working class and peasants at the time, and it was a way
the
of
red pill or the red.
Yeah, it's like all authoritarian states. You know, they have to go create a bunch of bullshit to propagandize their people.
Yeah.
You read 1984?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's like that. They use socialism as their propaganda term. So, all right,
but
we've already successfully socialism pilled you. You're okay with worker cooperatives?
I like it, but it doesn't greed. It doesn't stop the fact that human greed.
That's correct. The whole point is that it's checks and balances, right? So any manager that's in the firm has to be elected, and so you have less hierarchy. Though what's better is you have hierarchy that has consent. You know, it's just democracy in the work. It literally is democracy in the workplace. People talk about unions as being democracy in the workplace. That's like representative democracy.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of unions.
I like the full direct democracy. Why don't you like unions?
Because they're all about power. Look at California. California's falling apart because of the unions. And yes, it's helping, but how much is it really helping? Things are being burnt down, gunshots firing every night.
Whoa, what do you mean burnt down?
Cool. Well, like,
I don't think unions are burning down anything.
No, it's not the unions, it's the people. Like, I don't think the unions actually help out as much as they're propertized to help out, if that makes sense. My grandma's part of I don't remember what it's called. I don't remember the union, but it's one of the strongest unions in California.
SEIU. If it's SEIU, it's
probably it.
We can get.
But
into
my grandma
problems.
used to work with the county.
We can get into problems with unions, like some of them, like SEIU. Hold on, I'm gonna need a minute to explain this. So SEIU is one of those like really hierarchical, top-down unions. Those don't typically work as well as like nurses union and NUHW or something. That one's a lot better. Basically, what you want is like. Not only less of a hierarchical structure, but you want like more consent by the people that are actually represented within the union. So one of the biggest problems with unions, for example, is they'll just endorse a political candidate without asking their membership. And well, you'll see that some of the unions that do that, they aren't as effective. But it's undeniable that people that work in unions have better wages, They have better benefits. They have much better retirement packages, much better health care. This is undeniable. And when unions are stronger in America, hold on.
That's what I want to know. I'm confused. What business are you talking about?
Sure.
Like what form of businesses? Like Coca-Cola. I love Coca-Cola. I love their organization. I love the way they do their business. They're perfect. I'm not so happy with Amazon what type of businesses are you talking?
In terms of worker cooperatives?
But I feel if I spend my money to build my business up and be all successful, like Coca-Cola, for instance, my employees shouldn't be able to buy into my business and take it from me.
Okay, so this is the discussion. This is the socialism debate that I knew was going to happen.
Disneyland.
Why is it that you should have total ownership over the company? Why shouldn't everyone that contributes have a proportional?
Because it's my company. I built it.
But it's a proportional. Everyone at your company. Let's say you hire 10 people, or let's do 9 for easy math. So there's 10 people, including you. Why is it that all of those people whose work has contributed to the company, why shouldn't they all have a proportional? I'm not saying equal, not necessarily, but why shouldn't they have a proportional ownership of the company relative to the amount of work that they put into building it? It's not just one person that builds a company.
No, but it's his
His
idea that put the company on the map that did it. Now, yes, he's going to have a team of people, and I believe that team of people he works with to make his company successful should be involved. But if I join Coca-Cola, let's say we're going to use Coke because that's the only that's coming to my mind right now. If I join Coca-Cola, I shouldn't be able to buy a chunk of it, because then you can get a bunch of people in that organization. Let's say those 9 people turn around and go, "We don't like the way you're doing your business. We're gonna use our shares to overtake you."
That's theoretically
That's not
possible,
fair.
but do you think that would really happen? Like, you're the one hiring these people.
I believe it would happen. It doesn't account for self-greed. I know plenty of people that would totally, if they could, take over an organization like Coca-Cola, take over an organization like Google, take over an organization like that if they could, just to do it, because they're mentally fucked. They like chaos. They like causing
chaos?
problems.
What?
Yeah, like literally. Like, I have 2 or 3 friends that love to fuck shit up. Like, they can't hold a job because they'll cause problems at the job and lose their job. Like, I have a few friends that do that shit.
So a lot of these are actually anti-democratic arguments. You can go back to the feudal times, back when they were arguing between absolute monarchy and republics, and these are very similar arguments to the ones that absolute monarchies made, which is you can't trust the rabble. They want chaos, and they will bring anarchy, and we need a select group of nobles that are smarter, more educated, and more enlightened to be able to rule over other people.
I won't say enlightened, because that's a load of bullshit.
Well, of course it is, but that's what they say.
Everybody has health greed, and you can't account on what someone's gonna do, but you usually want to put people in places that have good morals and good. And I'm not saying good people with good morals won't do bad, but people with good morals tend to do good.
Okay,
not
sure,
bad.
but do you really think that, like, the CEOs are inherently better? I mean, look at how they exploit their workers. Think about how many firms like McDonald's, where the CEOs are making 1,000 times more than their workers. And I don't know if you've ever worked a fast food job. That shit is
It's
hard.
bullshit.
People are busting their ass to work at McDonald's, and it's
Yeah, my sister-in-law left McDonald's to go work at Starbucks, and she's a little happier at Starbucks because she gets along with her coworkers. She wasn't getting along with any of her coworkers at McDonald's. They all spoke Spanish or Chinese, and it didn't match with her. She speaks Tingale and English, but
All right, listen, let me ask you. You keep bringing up the word greed. Okay. So what do you think would be a better check on greed? Everyone having some degree of ownership in the company to where one person doesn't have autocratic control, or one person or one small group of people having autocratic control over all of the other workers who are essentially like wage slaves, shall we say? I mean, they are people who are told to do something. Oh my God, hold on. Hold on. We have the cuckoo clock is going off. All right. Did you hear that, by the way?
oh, no, I didn't.
Oh,
You
my
had a
God.
cuckoo clock?
Yeah, but there's a cuckoo clock in my house that I did not turn off very smartly. I'm very professional at this, okay?
No, I'm not. This is my first time ever doing a live.
My chat's
Thank
calling
you,
you out on the.
I believe so. I'm sorry. I don't know all of my facts and I don't know all of my stuff, but
all right.
I do come from a very good heart.
They're calling you out on the Spanish and Chinese comment.
I'm not. I don't mean to be racist. I'm just saying that a lot of migrants work there, and I know that because I go there and buy a lot. I'm not for it. I like migrants. I actually gave a guy a $10 tip back because he tipped me. He gave me $10 extra instead of the $3 he was supposed to me. He gave me 13, and I was like, "Hey, here you go. You gave me more." Like, I understand how hard it is to earn money. Like, I understand. Like, I come a very I understand. I come from a caring place. I try.
Okay.
We're all people. Sorry, go on.
We're going to let all those comments sit for a moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn back to greed. So, what do you think What do you think would be a better system for curtailing greed? Everyone having a say, or just one or two people at the very top of the company having all of the say?
Well, in theory, it sounds better if everybody has it, but that's only in theory. If you work your ass off to make to build your company, it's your company. Yes, you're hiring those people, but I don't think they should get a share of what you've earned.
Haven't they earned it too by working at the company? Haven't they earned a say? Like, I mean, this is just like basic democracy.
They earned a paycheck. They don't earn. Yeah, but you don't do a democracy in a company. Because that's not a company. That's your company.
Why? Listen, man, we're America, man. Shining city on a hill. We're supposed to be the democracy bringers to the world. Shouldn't we take democracy really seriously and have it be all the time, not just when we're voting or interacting with the courts? Shouldn't we have democracy in the place that we spend half of our waking lives?
Yeah, and I think we should change how we spend half of our waking lives at a fucking job, basically.
Well, you know what? You'll probably get no disagreement from me or my chat on reducing the amount of work hours. Did you know that we've actually almost nearly doubled the worker productivity in the past 50 years, and yet the number of hours that people work has actually increased? Which is it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's God.
In the 50s.
I'm for mom and pop stores and things like small. I'm for very small communities. When you get into metropoluses, like big cities like this, my brain goes haywire, and I don't believe humans are supposed to be in big cities like this.
Yeah, big apartment buildings, for example, can be quite alienating.
Groups of 200 to 500 at the most.
All right,
and they had multiple.
We can tangent off.
How they live.
We can tangent off. Into
a
bunch of shit. We could talk about anti-monopoly and how conservatism is not the way to go if you want to be anti-monopoly. It was Reagan that stopped enforcing the Sherman Antitrust Act, and all the presidents since have gone by Reagan's trend.
God.
And we could talk about how all the worker productivity increases have all gone to the top 1% over the last 40 plus years, and that is largely due to Reaganomics, neoliberalism, the era that we have lived in the past 40 years. But I really want to get to the socialism thing, because you're saying like did Jeff Bezos build all of Amazon? Like in 2018, after the Trump tax cuts were passed, Jeff Bezos.
I don't know.
Hold on. Jeff Bezos. Hold on. Jeff Bezos increased his net worth by $35 billion. Maybe it's 36. The average American makes $30,000 a year, just under $29,200 in the year 2018. That means Jeff Bezos made 1 million times more than the average, not the lowest person, the average American. And the reason why does it make sense to you that he would take home that much money? I mean, does it make did he really create that much value? Did he really build the company himself so much to be worth 1 million times the average person?
I don't know. How much work did he actually put in it? Let's calculate how much work he put in due to how big his companies became.
Well, he didn't. Well, it's not like he's writing the code.
Someone like Elon Musk doesn't work at all, or doesn't have a vacation, doesn't do it. He works 16-hour weeks, 18-hour weeks, and his business is successful. So you believe all his workers should have some code in the business that he basically helped build from the ground up?
I believe that every firm over a certain number of people, say 10 people. We would need studies on this. Maybe it's 7, maybe it's 11. But I think any firm of sufficient size should be democratically run, yes.
Okay, then I'll give you that. But you must give me in no point in time can the masses ever take away his his overall what he created.
Well, it's not about taking it away. It's about a proportion. Like, you get what you proportionally put in. Like, all of the people that wrote the code for Amazon.com, they should have some degree of ownership in the company.
You're talking about the logistic code. Yeah, okay. I'll give you that. Yeah. If those people, let's say those 10 people all put in some form of idea or to that code, then yes, they should have some stake or some part in that. I understand that. I will concede to that and say that should be fair. But
we did it, folks.
I don't know how we did what?
We socialism pilled him, everyone. My chat is celebrating. Somebody said we did it in all caps. I just wanted to vibe off that energy. All right, listen, my man. Everything that you've said thus far, other than like the whole pronouns thing, and we'll get to that. Everything you've said so far is pretty progressive on the relatively progressive, relatively liberal on the economy front. You seem maybe other than the unions. So I'm curious as to what makes you conservative, because I think conservatism is wrong on all levels, and I think it's like a brain virus that we need to get rid of. So why is it that you think a brain virus? Goddamn right, yes.
All right, I can say that. Oh, I like my individual freedoms. I don't like my government trying to take things away from me and tell me what I can and cannot do.
Same here. Conservatism ain't the way to go on that. Conservatives want to take away women's rights to choose how they operate on their bodies. The conservatives want to decide who can and can't marry. Conservatives want to decide, want the government to decide what trans people can do or not exist.
Yeah, and I'm not for any of that. I'm not for the government trying to take over and do what the government seems as it so sees fit. I've seen that the city I live in fall more and more fall apart, and not in a good way, and it's quite sad. And I don't like giving my money to my tax money to or programs and things I don't support. I believe our government is anything that raises our tax bill, anything.
Like roads?
I'm a big. I will go back to what Obama said in, I don't know, fucking 20
whatever.
Yeah, he told us. He was standing at the panel and he said, it's time for the American people to put another notch in their belt, and they may have to pay a little extra and do some things. And the problem is, if we have to pay extra, our government should not be paying. Like, we should not be paying. Obama told us that he would help fix the problem. The problem with people having more money in their pockets and things like that. And all they've done is take. And I'm going to go farther. Bush fucked up, and Bush didn't cut any of our taxes like we needed. I'm looking for someone out there, a president-wise, like Ross Perot. When Ross Perot ran against Bush and Clinton in 2000 and I don't know, was it 92? I thought it was
92.
Yeah, it was
92 was the best showing.
I'm not that old. I don't remember a whole lot back then, but I'm being honest.
I didn't exist back then, so you know.
I do remember the watching old Phils of the poll. It's Bush, Clinton, and Perot standing at the podium, and they're talking about. I'm going to say it wrong. Nemo. Basically, it's an energy business that Ross Perot owns, and Ross Perot said this. This bill will cause millions and millions the American people to pay thousands and thousands and thousands, if not millions of dollars. And I will get this money. I will be the first person, as soon as it comes across my desk, to veto it, to get rid of it.
All right, listen,
sure enough,
I want to talk about tax cuts,
Bush and Clinton both pushed it through, and it cost us so much money.
Oh, you're talking about NAFTA. Okay, here's what he said. So Ross Perot said that if you sign NAFTA, you're going to hear a giant sucking sound, which is all the jobs leaving America.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to reference. Yeah, no,
You're right.
NAFTA's crap because it was written by corporations.
The problem was, correct, but we need someone who's...
Though free trade is in general something I support.
I am not for raising any form of taxes on anything. It hasn't helped, and it's not helping. Not any. We need to cut taxes across the board. The rich pay the most taxes.
No, they pay historically low taxes.
Remember, you get taxed when you get...
No. Hold on. You just said something factually incorrect, and I need to correct you on it because this is a misconception that people have. People use the talking point. Here's the talking point you're trying to say, which is that rich people pay like 70 or 80% of the individual taxes. That's the talking point you're trying to get on,
no,
right?
No, not 70 or 80.
Sure, but
65 or 70.
65 or 70. They also own like all the wealth. There was a recent international survey where the United States, in terms of the quality of life for your ordinary average citizen, is between Cuba and Bulgaria. We were past number 40. I think we were ranked 42nd. So the reason why the rich pay all the individual taxes is because they're the only ones that have any of the money. If you actually look historically speaking, you know that from the 1930s until Reagan, the lowest tax... the lowest. I'm still trying to get over a cold, so I keep.
Yeah.
Anyway, the lowest.
I wish I had my computer here. I'd pull up some of the facts I have on
everything that we're talking about. So from 1933 until 1981, the lowest that the top marginal tax rate ever got was 70%. In the 1950s, it was 91% under Republican Eisenhower, and during World War II, it was 94% under Franklin Roosevelt. So, at that time, corporations actually paid more taxes. Now what you have is people like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and a lot of other billionaires pay less than 1% of their income in tax. The rich get away with an immense amount of taxes, and I could show you the graph showing that billionaires actually pay less as a percentage of their income in tax than your average working person on every level. It's the first time in American history that ever happened, and it happened because of the Trump tax cuts. See, the language of tax... Oh, you're garbling right now.
What?
If you're trying to talk, all that's coming through is garbledy.
No, I'm not saying anything. Hello?
Oh, there you go. Now you're good.
I don't know what happened. I was trying to pull something up on my phone.
Okay.
Oh, you showing me?
You probably don't want to do that because it's bad audio vibes.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I was just trying to find some of my points. I had some points.
Sure. Since Reagan, we've lived in what's called the neoliberal period. Whether it's Democrats or Republicans, we've had low taxes, we've had low degrees of regulation on on the financial industry, and low amounts of regulation in general on large multinational corporations. What we've seen is a concentration of wealth, not only in the hands of the 1%, but in the hands of large multinational corporations over your mom and pop shops. This is what unregulated capitalism does, my friend. This is what low taxes does.
But mom and pop shops are better to support.
I agree.
That's who I support.
But we can't like, ooh, I'm gonna support the good places, our way out of this monopolistic nightmare that we're currently living in, where 5 corporations own all of our media, where like 4 corporations own all of the airlines. There's like 5 corporations that own all of our food.
The question is, where do you shop for your produce and your stuff?
Say again?
Where do you I shop with all my produce and stuff. I shop at mom and pop stores and corner stores and those type of venues.
I mean,
I don't go to Safeway,
good, but like
I don't
most
go to
people
Costco.
can't.
I don't go to things like that.
Conscious consumerism has never worked as like a large scale problem solver.
That's what we need to fix. Capitalism is the only thing that's going to keep us from falling into something that's bad. I don't mind going towards something like the ideology of like maybe Sweden. I don't think it would ever work here because we have too many people.
Oh, it's the opposite.
That ideology,
hold on. It's the opposite. So Vermont tried to do single payer a few years ago. Now, this is one of those things that conservatives bring up. It didn't work in Vermont. But in reality, what single payer healthcare, where the government just pays the bill, you get rid of the for-profit health insurance middlemen. It's what Canada has, for example. So
Yeah, that doesn't work.
it works significantly better than the United States, which ranks horrendously in healthcare. All of the top healthcare performance countries, they are all either single payer, which is Medicare for all in American parlance, or they have socialized medicine, as in the case of Norway, which typically ranks within the top 3. So when it comes to how large your country is, you actually need a larger country, a larger tax base to make universal programs like universal healthcare work. So Vermont has about 500 to 600,000 people. It was unable to create a single payer program because there were just too few people. The United States is the wealthiest country in the history of the world. We have the wealthiest corporations. We have the most money. It would actually be easier to institute Medicare for all here than it would be in a smaller, poorer country like Sweden.
Wait, with what? Well, how are we the richest country when we're in debt?
Well, debt isn't really how you determine.
You have to pay your bill.
Hold on.
The United States hasn't paid their bills in years.
Hold on.
It goes back to not being able to pay your bills.
Well, yes, and that's largely Republicans' fault. George W. Bush created a massive deficit and debt, and so did Donald Trump. In fact, Democrats are much better at reducing the debt, which is.
No. Did we not see what the bill Obama wrote?
It does, dude. Obama lowered the deficit.
Biden, Bush, Trump, all of them people made our bill worse. The difference between Trump and the rest of the people I named, Trump wasn't a politician. He was a Democrat for many years before he became a Republican.
Yes, and he was a terrible
That's a documented
president.
record. Yeah, he was a terrible president, but he was a Democrat, and all these Democrats supported him. Hillary Clinton.
Yep. Dude, these are
down the line.
They're all part of the same club, man. You like George Carlin?
Yeah, they're all. Yes, I do. I love huge fan of George Carlin.
He said they're all part of the club, and we ain't in it.
All these people are bad. Yes.
Yep,
but
I agree.
I believe Trump tried to wake people's mind up that said,
no.
Guys. No. Some things aren't all what they seem to be.
No.
Your government is lying to you.
Dude,
open your eyes.
All Trump cares about is getting attention. Trump is a narcissist who wants attention and power.
I'm not against that. He's a special needs kid. Trump is a special needs child.
Oh God, he's so much worse than that. Hey, don't be ableism. This is an autism channel. Come on now.
Sorry.
Your apology is accepted. We can move on.
I truly am sorry. But he does have problems. I agree to that.
And some mental decline.
Yeah, I think he has dementia too. Him and Biden. Now, I do believe
that's something we can agree on.
He was trying to do something different that the other politicians aren't.
This is sounding a bit QAnon for me.
There's 2 things that I believe that are going to happen again. I don't know when.
Give us your Nostradamus. Come on. Give us your predictions.
Okay, my prediction is there's going to be a war, and it's going to be another war like what happened in World War II. But I think it's going to happen in the States sometime. I don't know when.
But you think a second civil war is happening?
I believe in my lifetime sometime there's going to be another war. And a world war.
Oh, a world war. Okay. Well, shit, man. I really hope that doesn't happen.
War. Not a civil war, but a world war.
Okay. Yeah, that's certainly possible.
The reason being is
climate change.
That's one, but the 2 things that happened in Germany are the same kind of things that are happening here.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Can I just take a moment and be like, oh, it's like nice that somebody who is self-described as being a little conservative has like acknowledged the climate crisis and the utter danger we are in because of it. So just know that you made me a little happy. I'm going to ignore the like transphobic thing you said earlier. We're going to get to that later.
Thank you.
In this good feeling that I have right now, I'm just going to keep it.
Okay.
All right, listen. Listen. When it comes to like future wars, we don't need to talk about that. There's nothing to debate.
Yeah.
My God, what were we even talking about? Listen.
I was going to make a comment on why I felt
you have a misconception about debt that I wanted to correct, because I think a lot of people have this misconception, which is we think of debt as being like a family debt, like the country is the family, and if you have a debt as a family, you have to pay it off for various reasons. That's not really how it works, especially in the United States, where not only do we make our own currency, right? It would be different in Greece. Like, debt in Greece is different because they're on the euro. But in the United States, we make our own currency, and the United States is the reserve currency. So, at the beginning of the pandemic, Trump the Trump's administration was pumping trillions of dollars every day into the market, and it didn't create inflation because we're the reserve currency. Listen, when it comes to like countries' debt, that is an overblown concern, totally overblown concern. Japan has been operating under like 170% debt for a while now, and the reason why they're dying is because they don't allow immigrants into their country.
Wait, why is that? Wait, what? Say that again? I missed it.
Yeah, for sure. So Japan has been operating with like seriously high amounts of debt.
Oh yeah.
For decades now, and the reason why their country is dying has nothing to do with debt. It's all because they don't allow in immigrants, because they're a creepy soft ethno state.
I don't know if that statement about not letting in immigrants is true, because my buddy just moved there, and he's working. Two of my friends moved there and is working with their school system, teaching kids English. So I don't know how true that is.
Don't let anecdotes get in the way of broader trends.
What do you mean anecdotes?
So anecdotes are like individual stories that you have with that do not illustrate a broader trend. The broader trend is that Japan has the most strict immigration laws in the entire world. They are functionally a soft ethno state, and their country is dying as a result of it. And basically every expert that looks into this is warning about it and has been warning about it for years.
All right, I didn't know, but I'm going to look into that. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, immigration's good for your country. In general. Generally helps your economy.
I feel some, not as if you have the job output to support the immigration, then I'll say yes. But you remember, you got to be able to work, have jobs for all of your people, or have some form of housing for all of your people. And if we don't have that, I don't think it would work.
Yeah, so of course you need the infrastructure, right? Like you need roads and buildings and all that stuff. Yeah, you're going to get no disagreement that we should build more housing. I hope you would agree that we should build more housing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've go with like progressives, because conservatives want to limit the amount of housing, and that includes
they want to limit the space of housing. They don't want housings right next to each other like cram sardines. They want spacing.
Well, they just want fewer houses, because ultimately on the local level, both corporate Democrats and the entire Republican Party, they're largely bought off by real estate industry. So I live in Alameda, and our city council is like
I do too.
The members are like the city council people. They're like either bought off by Gallagher and Lindsay, by BlackRock, or they just vote to make life better, like Malia Vela, who votes to make life better. Highly recommend voting for that person. She's not running this time, so that was a completely meaningless statement of me to say. Or Jim Odie. Jim Odie would be another example. To all of our national viewers who don't know who the fuck we're talking about, listen. When it comes to immigration, okay, you're talking about jobs. The conservative talking point is the immigrants, they take jobs from Americans. First off, not true.
I don't care about that. That's not true. Yeah, that's not true. I grew up in a double-sided household. Like, I understand all that. My aunt's kind of part black, so like I grew up with it. I understand. Good.
Yeah. So like when it comes to immigration, like, I hope you would agree, it's not the immigrant that takes the job. It's the greedy capitalist owner that takes the job, right?
I'm not going to say the greedy, because capitalists aren't greedy. They work hard for what they earn. They feel that you should work for.
Wait, hold on. We go from like the workers are greedy to like the owners of like giant firms who fire their native-born American workers to pay an immigrant less money. They're not greedy? What?
No, they don't always do that. Not always. You can't
I would say that
every
single business owner that fires people and then hires lower wage workers is greedy.
I don't believe that's actually happening.
And by the way, you wouldn't get that with worker co-ops. A worker co-op wouldn't fire its whole staff in order to hire cheaper labor. And in the same way, another worker co-op benefit is that worker cooperatives would not vote to send their jobs overseas. So you would have fewer jobs flying off to Mexico.
Work here.
Say again?
We should be building work. I've always been a fan of building work here. Ever since I was a child, building work here, jobs here. Why do we need to send jobs overseas?
Boy, you sound like a Bernie Sanders voter, my friend. Bernie Sanders was the guy.
I was a Bernie Sanders.
Oh my God!
I
Really?
did vote for Bernie Sanders. Yes, I totally loved Bernie's idea. I was totally for the whole having the government pay for schooling and shit like that. I was totally with all that. My problem is I've always been a fan of building the infrastructure here. So my family heritage comes from Ireland. My great-great-grandma was born on the boat in 1890.
1890. That means your family made it past the potato famine. My family did not make it through the potato famine. We came here.
Basically, my grandpa's mom was born on the boat coming here to America. She was an indentured servant to a family in Ohio. At one point in time,
can I say something about Ohio? Ohio is the worst state I've ever driven through. I've driven cross country. Ohio gets thumbs down. I'm really sorry if one of our 11 live stream viewers lives in Ohio. I could not stand Ohio. Hey, listen, you seem cool on immigrants. All right, so we can move on.
He left. My grandpa left Ohio because he hated the snow.
It's fair. All right, so listen, I need to get to something we disagree on. So
past all that shit. Okay, sorry, go on.
No. So we can't really debate on like your family's history. Like I'm just gonna have to take it as it being true.
That's not important. I'm not tripping about all that. What I'm saying is, even with them being from Ireland, they have American pride. They're America first, and then they were Irish. That's what we've lost. We've lost the American first. You're an American, and we've lost the American pride first. And then America was welcoming to people. Yes, there's fucked up shit that happens, but name me a country where fucked up shit doesn't happen and hasn't happened.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, free range and free movement of people is a very liberal idea. It's one of the core liberal ideas, along with free speech and free markets.
I did not know that.
Yep, the core ideas of liberalism, which is what our country is founded on. You know, our country's founded on the liberal ideas of the Enlightenment, right?
Yeah, I believe our founding fathers wanted to have us to be and I'm going to say God-fearing, as in they believe in a higher power. It doesn't matter what God, Judaism, Christianity.
A lot of them were atheists.
Atheism. But I believe they wanted our country to have a fear of a God-fearing country, because then you don't tend to do evil.
A lot of them were very anti-theist.
What do you mean by theist?
A theist is somebody who believes in God. A lot of the founding fathers were not religious. A lot of them were deists. Like Thomas Jefferson, for example. He was a deist who believed that he rewrote the Bible. He took out all the supernatural parts. He rewrote it. Listen, listen. Here's what I want to talk about. Okay, I want to talk about trans people. What's your opinion of trans people?
Yeah. I don't mind. I'm gay.
Say again?
Well, I'm bi. I said I don't mind. I'm bi. I don't mind. I go both ways, so they don't bother me.
Well, one of my best
friends is a trans person.
My chat's been ripping you for the pronouns comment. What's up with the pronouns comment?
I'm sorry. I don't know pronouns.
It's all right. My chat's been really funny about it. Your pronoun is Ohio now.
I'm sorry. No. Bay Area, born and raised. I was born in Alameda Hospital. Bay Area, born and raised.
Yeah, one of the last people. You know, the old people on this island stopped that from happening.
I'm a third generation on the island. My uncle played at Incinel was a Hall of Fame in Incinel.
What sport?
Football and wrestling.
I played baseball.
I love baseball, and I stopped playing. I should have tried to keep going, but
did you not make it to high school?
No. My dad died when I was young, but and when I got into high school, I was doing too many other things. I wasn't acting right. I wasn't listening.
I went to Alameda High School. You go to Encinal?
I just kind of. I went to base, but I played at Encinal.
Okay, I got you. All right, listen. You got me a little stumped here, man. In what way are you conservative? Because I think conservatism is bad.
I don't like spending my money at all on anything that's not helping us grow. I don't believe I believe some social plans should be around, but a lot of like the excess road tax that we've been paying since fucking World War II. I think that shit should have been gone after World War II. There should have been no little clause that made that keep going. Like
you're talking about some pretty rinky-dink, tiny little things. Cents. You know that the average American pays like $1 for welfare out of their taxes for a whole year. I mean, it's obscenely low. It's like 40 cents for food stamps. I mean, it's crazy low amounts that we actually pay. And instead, we pay like $5,000 on. Again, this is average American income of $50,000. Pays about $5,000 in taxes to the military. I mean, would you be for cutting the military's budget? That's the biggest thing we're spending money on.
Totally. I'm totally against. I'm against all of that excess spending. Now, I'm only for welfare for people that actually have disabilities. Now, I believe you should work for what you get. I totally am for your working hard and striving to be better.
I don't think anyone's against that here. Hey, and you've also said that you're for reducing the amount of hours that we work per week. So to anyone that came in and just heard that, know that he did say that earlier. Look at me, I'm defending you.
But I do believe you should work for what you have. Now, if you're working to pay just your house, like if you make
people
a plan
do, by
with,
the way. I don't know. Yeah, I hope you don't think that like Americans are freeloaders because we are working longer hours for lower wages right now.
I know a lot of people that are. I know people that are on welfare that have been on welfare and have 4 kids by 4 different dads and shit like that. And I'm like, you've been on welfare your whole life because you just want to sit there and lay back and they don't mind that. One of my family members is with that shit up in a whole other county, and I'm like, why don't you get off your fat ass and get some? They're doing way better now.
These are individual anecdotal problems. Largely speaking, welfare has an extraordinarily low fraud rate. The fraud rate is below 5% and typically around 1%.
Yeah, but I know.
And by cutting welfare, by cutting welfare, here's what you're doing. You're hurting the one person who doesn't deserve it, and then you're hurting 99 people who need it. Because without the government stepping in and being the employer of last resort, as was the case in the United States from 1933 until Reagan, then people are just left out to dry. Are they supposed to go homeless? 500,000 people in this country are homeless.
I know, and it sucks. The government doesn't do anything right, including
government does a lot of things pretty well. The government certainly does the fire department a lot better. It does the military a lot better. It does healthcare a lot better.
I mean, this fire department isn't as good as it was.
It's a lot better than what we. Do you know what we used to have, dude? Do you know what? Can I tell you about how private firefighting?
Well, I know 2 of the people that were on the firefighter squad, and they've told me that it's fallen apart. So
they also have very strong unions, the firefighters. Listen, dude.
No, they do. I love it. I'm not for their union, but I do know they do have a strong one, and it's
they're very nice people.
It's nice. It is totally. I worked with the food bank for a while. And I've met a lot of really nice people.
I've partied a little bit and had some drinks with the firefighters and their unions. So I'm cool with them. Listen, here's what happened when we went free market and got the government out of firefighting. Is basically 2 fire companies would go to your burning house, and as it's in flames, they would basically say, "Hey, you got to pay X amount of money," and they would basically extort people.
Yeah.
And then their building just, your house? I'm sorry, it's burning. Whereas the fire department, that was poorly explained. I hope you understand what I was saying.
No, I did understand that. I had a conversation about this with a friend a couple months back, and they brought up the fire department.
Yeah, it's one of the quintessential examples.
That's the same kind of example she used, and she's pretty smart. Yeah.
Straight gangs in New York. That's right, Jared. Yeah, it really is like extortion. Listen, man, when you go full on the capitalism, do you know about the Gilded Age? Like, here's what's bothering me. Okay, I'll tell you what's bothering me, because I appreciate if what you say is true and you were a Bernie Sanders voter. Much love to you, brother. But a lot of your some of your talking points about taxes, they're very right wing, and I worry that these ideas that they will metastasize in your brain and make you conservative later in life.
Well, you're gonna hate me because I do listen to Tim Cass. How do you think of him?
Tim Pool?
Yeah, Pool. Sorry, I think I've always called him Cass because
isn't that his channel name?
Yeah, that is his channel name.
Listen, I don't.
My brother showed him to me.
Here's what annoys me about Tim Pool. If he just came out and said he was a conservative, I would at least appreciate that. But like he does this, I'm a liberal, And I don't know if it's hey, listen here. Let me share something with you, okay?
Yeah.
I love the political psychology angle, okay? So we're going to analyze Tim Pool right now. Tim Pool, when he says he's a liberal, and then every video he makes is, pro-Trump, anti-squad, anti-AOC, anti-progressives. That's obviously pro-right-wing. And so when he says he's a liberal, I don't know if it's because he lacks the introspection to say, wow, I'm no longer a liberal. I used to be a liberal, but now I'm not. See, conservatives psychologically speaking, have an introversion to introspection. They're basically afraid to look inward, and they're afraid of what they might see. And one of the other problems that conservatives psychologically have is that they just don't update enough. Like if their brain was a computer, they didn't get the software update. That's part of the problem. So I don't know if that's what's the problem with Tim Pool.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what the problem is with Tim Pool, or if it's just money. Because there's people like that's a common theme. You've got the Jimmy
money.
Dore.
I can see that. Yeah.
Hold on.
I've always thought of that greed. That goes back to greed.
Yep. It's the Jimmy Dore grift. It's the Dave Rubin grift. It's the I used to be a liberal. There's and now I'm on the right. And it makes him a lot of money. I don't get it. Some people think that they're nuanced. I'm liberal on some issues and conservative on others.
What's your opinion on Glenn Beck?
Glenn Beck is a nut job and a fascist. He's a Christian fascist.
No, I had to ask.
Are you into Glenn Beck?
A friend of mine listens to Glenn Beck quite a bit.
Yeah, I think he's basically brain poison.
I wanted to know. I heard it. I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh. I was a big Rush Limbaugh fan for a while.
I'm glad he's dead.
I liked him.
I hope the YouTube robots don't take me down for saying I'm glad that Rush Limbaugh is one of the people who has damaged our country more than any in the past 40 years. His very authoritarian views are horrendous. The world is a better place with him no longer in it. Dude, you're making me and my chat suspicious here. That you voted for Bernie Sanders. What happened, dude?
I liked not having money. I hated not having money. It sucked. I'm not gonna say Trump gave me more money, but I tended to get some more money with. I think it was because I changed a little what I was doing. I didn't take that into consideration. I changed not careers, but I changed.
What does this have to do with Bernie?
Pattern. I said why I got off of him. I had no money with Bernie.
Wait, are you pro-Trump?
No, I hate Trump. I'm not a fan of Trump, but I am a fan of being a capitalist. Capitalist as
what is capitalism?
Self-wealth.
Couldn't the feudal lords say that?
That's how I feel capitalism is. Self-wealth.
Couldn't the feudal lords say, "Hey, I have self-wealth"?
I guess, but if they would have done it, if they would have done it, they'd be successful. They weren't successful.
I would say the feudal lords were pretty successful in their time, unfortunately. Capitalism actually grew out of feudalism. It's the next step in the process of the evolution of society. Capitalism is free markets. It's private ownership of land and companies, and a market system. I'm a market socialist, though, so I guess you can't exclusivize markets to capitalism. Oh my God! Did he drop?
Okay.
Did he die? Oh
no. I'm just thinking. I'm just trying
capitalism
to process it all.
is authoritarian as well, because the owner of the company has authoritarian levels of control over the workers in the similar way that the feudal lords had authoritarian control over the peasants. It's just a different system. It's more updated.
Yeah, but they can't beat you. They can't harm you in any way.
No, but
we're in the feudal era.
They can. Whoa! Hold on. They can harm you. Hold on.
How?
Amazon was caught on numerous occasions not keeping their warehouses properly cooled, so people were having heat stroke. And instead of putting in air conditioning, what they did was they put an ambulance on the side of their warehouse because it was cheaper to put people into the hospital than it was to have the air conditioning. There are so many of these jobs in which people's bodies are exploited and they are hurt.
if
The reason, by the
people-
way, the reason why that people have workplace protections is because of the progressive welfare state, if you want to call it that. Before, in the United States, like in the Gilded Age, pre 1933, pre Franklin Roosevelt, pre New Deal, the one of the biggest problems is there's so many people, and if you just die on the job, we'll just get another person. So why have any workplace protections? So tons and tons of people died on the job. That was just inherent to capitalism. It was one of the things. Kids died on the job.
Yeah, but that was before laws were put in place to change all that.
That's right, but capitalism on its own would have been opposed to that kind of a thing because it hurts the profits of the owners of business.
All right, I can see that.
Somebody is saying that you got broken when
It
I
is-
put the words market and socialist in the same sentence. Did that happen? Did your brain break?
Kind of. That's why I'm trying to figure out how that. Yeah.
All right, let me explain it, because you know what? You're not going to be the only one.
Yeah.
That's what these debates are. Hey, this is more of a discussion, isn't it? That's what these discussions are good for, is communicating your ideas.
Oh, I like that. I joined the thing because I wanted to hear your point of view. I like learning and I like knowing other people.
What you're
I have no
demonstrating.
qualms-
I'm really terrible with the interruptions. I need to get better at that. Listen,
Sorry, no, that's me too.
well, I'm autistic, so at least I have an excuse. Okay, listen. What did you just say? Markets. I was going to get to markets. Oh, open-mindedness. What you're demonstrating right now is open-mindedness, which is a quality that differentiates liberals psychologically from conservatives. Liberals or progressives. Unfortunately, the political psychology literature is stooped in 1950s lingo, so they use the word liberals to refer to people on the left. But anyway, did you know that's one of the defining differences?
Is that a Democrat? Is someone from the left a Democrat?
Well, there's a lot of really conservative Democrats. Like Joe Biden is a classic conservative. He just wants to keep things largely the same. That's what conservatism is. Whereas the Republican Party is largely fascist. No, in the 50s, what the word liberal meant is what we mean today by conservative. Whereas now liberal is like moderate, which is what liberalism typically refers
Yeah,
to.
the whole spectrum slid.
Say again?
I said the whole spectrum has slid. Like, did you like JFK?
You know what? I don't really know what to think about JFK. I don't think he had a long enough presidency for me to determine it. You could cite, oh, he was a trailblazer, he was really a liberal, he got the civil rights movement going, and he didn't really want to be in the war in Vietnam. And then there's the more conservative, he was a very famous, charming person from an uber wealthy family. He wanted to play the president. It's hard to say. Listen, I wanted to get on the market socialist, okay? We need to not have ADHD here. Okay, I'm being ableist. We need to not be ADHD brain right now, okay? So listen, market
I'll
socialism.
put a point in that. We'll come back to JFK.
Okay, put a pin in it. So market socialism. Listen, it's just if workers own the means of production, if workers own their own workplace, then everything otherwise functions the same. There's still a market. They still sell products. Here in the United States, we have a ton of worker co-ops. I buy my flour from a worker cooperative. And it works just the same. I could get the worker cooperative flour and the worker cooperative cheese at the same grocery store that I get the hierarchical capitalism cheese and flour. So it works the same in the market respect. Like, you're still buying and selling things. I think markets are a good thing.
Wait, market isn't like farmer's market type thing?
No, like buying it. No, like literally, I can go to Trader Joe, or I can go to Safeway and pick out socialist flour that's made by a worker cooperative.
Oh, at Safeway.
Yeah, you can go. It's called Bob's Red Mill. I'm not sponsored by them, but I should be right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's a worker cooperative, and it's just bought and sold.
I've had them. Yeah.
Yeah.
We get them sometimes.
Look
I
at
know
you
what that is.
supporting
That's pretty
socialism with
good.
your conscious consumerism.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Well, see, but that's what I believe capitalism is about. Being able to have choices on what you choose to buy and all of that. Because that's important.
I mean, undoubtedly there's buying and selling in capitalism, but it's not exclusive. Under socialism, you'd still have all that stuff. You'd still be able to buy from whatever firm you wanted to. It's just a difference between how the firms are run.
Well,
You seem a little hesitant on the democracy in the workplace still. Listen, here's what we've done, okay?
I do like the idea of democracy in the workplace.
Well,
it's called the workplace for a reason. You work. You don't need to worry about all of that other shit because that's what unless you want to move up and be a manager or something in there. I just feel you're supposed to do your job at work. Like
I think we can do better than that. Can't we do a little bit better than you go to your work, you're miserable, you're a wage slave, and then you go home and like, well, you're smoking a bowl, right?
Well, you're a wage slave. Yeah, no, yeah, I am smoking a bowl. Yeah, I am. Sorry, I coughed.
That's fine. Dude, the amount of times I've cleared my throat during this, I'm sure it sounds disgusting. Listen, the thing about worker co-ops is that they make workers happier. Surveys into worker cooperatives make this very clear, that the workers who work at worker cooperatives are happy, they have more fulfillment, which is very important. I hope you'd agree that fulfillment is extremely important to humanity.
It makes you happier. It means you work harder and you work.
It's deep. It's deeper than happiness. So worker cooperatives are better at those outcomes. They're also better at handling price shocks. So we've had a price shock with the supply chain crisis. Worker cooperatives are better able at handling that, not only in terms of what they're able to sell. You know, they're in other words, the prices on their commodities aren't going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. But it's that the firm itself also lasts longer, and it's also been shown that worker cooperatives are better able at surviving those pivotal first 2 or 3 years for a company, and they're also better able to withstand recessions. And fortunately,
that's good.
Yes, it is, because we're probably going to have one soon. Worker cooperatives are also less likely to fire people. Instead of laying off workers, what they do is they all take a little bit of a hit, and so what you get is more stable employment, I suppose. So in every way, worker cooperatives just function better.
I can't think of the fact that I got to give you a share of what I built.
Well, you didn't build it alone. I mean, do you currently own a company right now? Because right now what you're doing is you're sounding a lot like the conservative that's like, well, I'm not a billionaire right now, but I want the tax cuts for when I become a billionaire.
Hell no. I'm never going to be a billionaire. And I think I know that. But
nobody should be billionaires. We're coming for them.
Yeah, no, I don't believe anybody should be a billionaire. I do believe that
you know that under a worker cooperative socialist market system, you wouldn't have billionaires because nobody would vote to give the leader of the firm that high of a salary. You would actually solve income inequality in a lot of ways, and you actually wouldn't have to have as high a tax rate.
Wow,
yeah, it hits hard, doesn't it? Lower taxes for you.
That's pretty. It would lower taxes.
You'd also lower your corporate taxes, like so. For example, Medicare for all.
I'm not for corporate organizations. Like I'm not a fan of Amazon. I'm not a fan of. I don't like them.
Why?
Don't like them. They're just. One, their prices of shit. One is their prices of crap. It's all expensive as shit. That's one.
We are clearly not sponsored by Amazon.
No, I hope not.
I hope to never speak to an advertiser, actually. Hold on. Here. Hold on. Because I hope to never speak to an advertiser, please like and subscribe to this channel and ding the bell, because if I do a live stream at a random time, like today, because I'm not consistent about the live streams, it will give you the alert, so please ding the bell. All right. Why do you not like Amazon? I want you to explain.
One, they're expensive as shit. One is they're expensive as shit, and I'm not for big organizations like that. I've never been. I don't like Walmart, dude. I don't like Safeway. My dad worked at Walmart for many, many years and got nowhere. Mm-hmm. Got nowhere. Did nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up that those Walmart heirs, they just get to inherit all the money and they didn't put any of the work in. That's a real big problem with capitalism as it's set up, is that you get these people that inherit a corporation. Did you know the Gilded Age?
Yeah,
right?
but they shouldn't have an inherent. You should tax people that get inherited money. I'll totally agree to that.
You agree with a large inheritance tax? Question mark.
Yeah, well, I agree to an inheritance tax on a large on a large amount. Like if you're getting fucking like a huge chunk of money from this whatever organization. Yes, I believe that a giant tax cut should be hit from it. Yes, I do believe that. I don't know the percentage because I'm not into numbers or any of that. But I do believe that you should be hit some form of tax. Like if you have like the son of Rolls Royce, when he dies, his son should get taxed so much money before he can get the heir of Rolls Royce. Does that make sense?
You'll get zero disagreement here. Did you know that a lot of the wealth amongst the hyper wealthy in this country was accumulated during the Gilded Age? So, Anderson Cooper is from the Vanderbilt family. The Vanderbilt family made a shit zillion dollars in railroads, New York Central in particular. Got to make a train reference. And they've just passed it down generation after generation after generation.
We need to bring trains back.
We need to make trains great again.
Yeah, I'll second to that.
Just to let you in on the inside joke, I'm like autism with the trains, okay? With the model trains.
So
you like
wanted
trains? To let you in with the. I wanted to let you in on the inside joke.
That's cool. One of the kids I worked with totally loves trains.
Yeah, confirmed for autism.
Totally obsessed.
All right, hey, listen, I got another question for you, all right? And we're gonna wrap up soon.
Yes, sir.
What do you think progressives get wrong about conservatives?
We're all assholes and greedy fucking people. Like,
wait, what do you think progressives get wrong about conservatives?
Oh, wait, what do you mean? Enlighten me. What do you mean by that?
Oh wait, hold on. I'm getting a train thing. Vanderbilts no longer have that. Yeah, whatever. I'm sorry. I was distracted by chat.
Ooh, a little squirrel. No.
Yeah. No, actually. Like what?
What do you mean by that?
Do you think progressives have an inaccurate perception of conservatives? Because you seem averse to just being a progressive. Because hold on. So many of the things you said. Okay. I mean, you're a bit weird about the pronouns, but otherwise, a lot of the things you've, like, in terms of policy, like when we get away from the vagaries, when we talk about actual policy, you're pretty solidly progressive. And so I'm wondering why you don't just adopt the title progressive for yourself. I mean, if you're voting for Bernie Sanders,
No, I did vote for Bernie Sanders. I did. That was in 2012, 10, 12.
2016 or 2020? Who'd you vote for in 2020?
16. 16. 2020, I voted for. Dude, who did I vote for in 2020? Give me 1 second. Let me look. I don't remember.
You don't know whom you voted for president? Come on now.
No, I
smoke fewer bowls. Come on now.
Yeah. You said more, you say?
I said you need to smoke fewer bowls if you're forgetting who ran for president in 2020.
Ben Carson.
As a joke? That was 2016, dude.
Yeah, I voted for Ben Carson again. I wrote in my vote, Ben Carson.
Why?
Because I like him.
Why?
He came from the hood.
So?
Now, yes, his housing, the taxing and all the shit he does on the housing, I'm kind of upset about. I'm sorry.
I
wish he would. Ben Carson, the representative from Texas.
Beto O'Rourke.
No, he's the black gentleman came out of Texas.
Ben Carson is the neurosurgeon. Are you talking about Herman Cain?
Let me see. Give me a second.
Herman Cain was in 2012. His 999 plan.
He was the black man.
No, Ben Carson is the crazy person that thought the pyramids were grain silos, and he's like a 12th Day Adventist because he thinks the world's going to end in Jesus.
He's not a 12th Day Adventist? I don't remember that.
Yeah, he's nuts.
I don't remember that. My mom's calling. Give me 1 second.
Okay, Trent Mitchell, the person that died from COVID was Herman Cain. Responding to chat. Listen, why don't you call yourself a progressive? What's the problem with it? Hold on, start it over. You're getting a bit choppy. Hold on, we can't hear you. Start over. Why don't you call yourself progressive?
I hate it.
Because progressives historically are always correct, like literally always correct. Like the radical left, always on the right side of history. So why not join us? I can substantiate that claim if you need me to. Hello? Are we still connected? Uh-oh, we're getting choppy. You're sounding like a robot here. Is my computer just tired? This has been a long-ass chat. Uh-oh, I think... Oh no. Oh no.
I don't know what...
Hey, we could sort of hear you again. Go ahead, try again. Why don't you call yourself a progressive? If indeed you vote for Bernie Sanders and you're somebody who supports a lot of progressive policies, why not be a progressive? Why not say that? God, I think that question killed him, you guys. I don't know what happened.
Hello?
Hi. You're back.
Oh, my mom called and fucked my thing up.
Oh, okay. All right.
My mom called me. She's like, "What's going on?" I didn't even talk to her. I canceled the call. But my mom was trying to call me and it screwed up the whole thing.
Okay. Well, we'll forgive you.
I swear I voted for Ben Carson. Let me look.
I don't care that much. I want to know why you don't call yourself progressive. If in many ways you disagree with conservatives, other than the tax thing and the pronouns, but like, why not just be a progressive?
Because I don't like labeling myself in a category, I guess you would say. I would say I've always called myself an independent.
Okay.
Like, I'm an individual person. I've always said that. I never really aligned with any one side. But now that I'm actually talking to someone, you think I lean more progressive? Listening to what I say?
You definitely align significantly with it. See, for me, I don't like the labels either, right? Because I think they can be limiting. But for more than anything, it's like anything with language. You know, it's a shortcut. It's trying to get the ideas in my head over to the ideas in your head, and just getting you to understand enough. And you can go, well, I'm progressive on a lot of issues, and then you can just get into it if you're not progressive on some of the issues.
Okay. So yeah, I feel I'm an independent. I thought I leaned to more conservative values, but maybe I don't.
There are so many people who have that idea. Oh my God! Listen, okay. When I was in grad school, I studied political science. Okay, so when I was in grad school, this is one of these very common frustrating things is that people think they're more conservative than they are because of how our culture talks about conservatism as being a good thing and talks about liberalism as being a bad thing. Now we can get into why, millionaires in the media and the billionaires that own those media corporations would think that way and want you to think that way. But it is a very frustrating thing. You'll get people that have like very pro-union ideas, and then they'll be like, yeah, but I'm conservative, and then they vote Republican. It's like, why? What are you doing? Very frustrating. People don't get the labels. It's very frustrating. Are you alive? Are you still there? Did he get COVID like that quickly? Oh no.
Hello? Damn it! My other friend called me.
You're very popular. We all want to talk to you.
No, I'm usually at home by now, and I forgot to tell someone I was going to do this conversation, so they were kind of worried.
All right.
So I just sent someone a text message and said, "Wait, I'll be back."
All right, listen here. We're going to wrap this up. I want to say this. All right.
I had a question. I wanted to ask real quick.
Go for it.
Could you put a pin on that JFK thing?
Yes.
What do you think JFK would be nowadays?
What do I think JFK would be nowadays? That's an interesting question. I think that he would probably align himself more with, like, how would I describe this? You've got like the most conservative Democrats, right? And then you like Joe Manchin, and then you've got the most progressive ones like the Squad. I think he'd be in the middle. I think he'd be in like Gavin Newsom territory.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. I wouldn't say so far right, but I would say he would lean more towards the right because he was about cutting taxes. And he was a Democrat. He was a Democrat.
Oop, hold on. Let's correct you here. So he did lower the top marginal tax rate, like the nominal. So there's the nominal rate, which is like what's on the books, and then there's the effective rate, which is what you actually pay. So what JFK
Yeah,
did
raising
was
tide saves sinking ships.
so here's what happened is that the nominal rate went from 91% to 74%, but the effective rate went from 58% up to 70%. So he actually raised taxes on the wealthy.
More money.
Yes.
But the people got more money.
I'm talking about on the rich. He increased taxes on the rich. Cuckoo clock.
Correct. You're right. But the people itself got more money. That's what I'm more saying. We need to stick to the people getting more money.
Yes, wealth increased in the 1960s. The middle class was the healthiest during the 1960s, and that was largely due to the Great Society and New Deal programs, the highway development that happened in the 50s. You know, all this government spending kind of nonsense. Those regulations on banks. Did you know?
But the president before him helped those ideologies get moved through.
Yep, Eisenhower was the most left-wing Republican since Theodore Roosevelt, or maybe William Howard Taft.
We gotta give some to the people before them. And now, I think the president, not this next president, but the president after that is gonna do so much better. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, okay. Here's what I'm gonna try to extract what I think you're saying out of your head. Are you ready? I'm gonna psychic abilities this right now. Okay, I think what you're saying is that we're headed towards a turning point, and we're headed towards a really good positive change, because we've been kicked in the ass for about 12 years now, or 14 years now. Yeah, since the Great Recession. All right, my dude. Listen, here's what I really appreciate about you, my brother. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I appreciate. All right, is that you came here with an open mind, and when I said things, you didn't just argue out of emotion, so I appreciate that. Open-mindedness, I think, is a really positive quality in people, and it's something that brings them towards liberalism and progressivism, so keep it up, dude.
I will. And if you ever want to talk to other conservatives, I might have a couple that might want to talk, or they say they're conservative, they might want to talk.
Yeah, throw them my way, man. Have them.
I can do that.
You can have them DM me at Keegan Tatum on Twitter or Instagram, or email me at alienperspectivepolitics@gmail.com, and let's hope that we don't have a world war.
No, I hope so too, sir.
All right.
Thank you, and I love this. Thank you very much.
This was quite fun. Thank you for coming on. Bye-bye.
I will. Thank you. Good night.
All right, listen, Chad, I know that you were making fun of him a lot, but you know what? He came here in good faith, and other than the poisoning of the well with the pronouns thing, I don't think he was... I want to give him a ton of credit for being open-minded. I hope Ohio has a good... I love it. Did you see all the people that changed his pronouns in the chat? I loved that. That was funny. If you missed that, rewatch the entire video and give me more watch time hours. Thank you, Sam Unreal. I was really expecting this to be a little bit more combative, but you know what? I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. I'm kind of happy to have those kind of open-minded conversations, because ultimately the point of like these debates, let me talk about that for a little bit before we finish out, just a couple more minutes, is that I think that debates are good at communicating your ideas. And if you're someone like me and you're like hyper extroverted, I feel like I'm better at talking and explaining things when I actually have another person to talk to. That's why I actually started doing a few live streams in the first place. And so when I'm able to go back and forth, I think I'm better able to explain things than when I'm like sitting here awkwardly and alone, just talking at the camera. So I think I'm going to do more of this. Did people like this? You bet. You all stayed through this whole damn discussion. Look at that, 12 viewers, more than when we started out. All right, cheers everyone. We're going to shut this down. But I got to wait because like there's a delay. So like I can't shut it down immediately. Yeah.